Hey, and welcome to Board with Life News for December 2nd. Today I'm going to talk about Bundle of Holding, which is a indie RPG charity thing. I'm going to talk about Hero Quest's Kickstarter, and I'm going to talk about the Kickstarter for Argent the Consortium. Hey, I'm Chris, and this is Board with Life News. We're back after a week off from recovering from Board Game Geek Con, which those of you guys that were at our party understand why we had to recover a little bit. But it was a super blast. We played a ton of games. We have a video coming up where we're going to talk about some of our favorite games we played there. It was great meeting a lot of you guys. And yeah, we just released a Let's Play video, our first Let's Play video. You guys have been asking for that, so we jumped in on that. And it's for the game Two Rooms and a Boom, which just ended its successful Kickstarter. It's a hidden roles game, sort of in the tradition of Werewolf, but with some nice twists, so you should go check that out and watch us be really dumb and cuss way more than we generally do on the show. All right, let's get into the news. So first news this week, Bundle of Holding, which is like Humble Indie Bundle, if you guys are familiar with that, where Bundle of Holding takes a bunch of indie RPGs, tabletop RPGs, and sells them in a big package. It's pay what you want, and the proceeds go to charity. So this week's Bundle of Holding that is going on for 2 more days, so you should really jump on it, is basically an Apocalypse World one, where you get, if you beat the average, which is about $20 right now, you get 8 different indie RPGs, including Apocalypse World, which was a really revolutionary one that came out a couple years back. Lots and lots of really great games are based on the system, including Monster Hearts, which is one of my favorites. But in this bundle, you get Apocalypse World and you get Dungeon World if you beat the average, and Dungeon World is really shaking things up. It's a really, really cool, interesting RPG, and for no other reason, Apocalypse World's chapters on how to be a good GM are incredibly useful and incredibly helpful if you're at all interested in role-playing games as a medium to play in. So I highly recommend this bundle. It's only 20 bucks. It goes to charity. You get 8 entire indie RPGs, including Apocalypse World, Dungeon World, Perfect Unrevised, which is by the guy who did Monster Hearts, one of my favorite indie RPGs. So I would highly recommend that you go over to Bundle of Holding, links down below. All right, and now on to sad news in the theme of Kickstarter sad news. That happens sometimes. It's Kickstarter, and it's not perfect, and that's what happens. If you remember a couple of months back, I talked about a Spanish company called GameZone saying that they were going to have a 25th anniversary reprint of Hero Quest, the very popular game from Hasbro in the late 80s that was sort of a dungeon crawler board game, role-playing game mashup that is fond to many of us from our childhoods. Well, GameZone recently started a Kickstarter for their 25th anniversary print, and it turns out they didn't have all their ducks in a row. They promised they did on their Kickstarter, but it got pulled for copyright infringement. Moon Design, which is the company that holds the American copyright or the American trademark for the name Hero Quest, had a lengthy post on kind of what happened on Board Game Geek. I'll link it down below. It's an interesting read to kind of understand the inner workings of all this stuff. Basically, GameZone asked Moon Design for the use of the trademark back in July. Moon Design told GameZone that they were going to need to show them a proof of an agreement with Hasbro for that they were allowed to print the 25th anniversary edition of that game, and GameZone never gave that. GameZone then went ahead and started the Kickstarter. Moon Design said that they needed to get a licensing agreement from them immediately, and they did not. So Moon Design asked Kickstarter to pull the Hero Quest game down. Kickstarter's an American company, so it has to follow American copyright law. The gray area falls because maybe GameZone actually does have the rights to print that in Spain, but they do not have the rights to use an American company with that because the American company has to follow American trademark law, and it is illegal in America to print that game. It's sad, so it'd be great if we could have a 25th anniversary printing of the game, but at the same time, you can't just take other people's trademarks. So we'll see how that all pans out, but for now, it is still a very mythical game that sells currently for $412 on eBay. And now we're in Kickstarter Corner. This week's Kickstarter Corner is for the game Argent the Consortium. Argent the Consortium is a Euro game from Level 99 Games, which if you know anything about Level 99 Games, you go, what? A Euro game from them? I know, it's weird. But we actually had a chance to play a prototype of it at Board Game Geek Con, and it's really good. It is a worker placement game, but it is a specialized worker placement game where you don't just have regular workers. They're workers that do different things and can cast spells. The game kind of takes place in this sort of magic school, and you're vying for power in the school, basically, your professors in the school. And you'll have a lot of the familiar characters from other level 99 games they're keeping in that world. So, for example, some of your workers might be able to shoot magic fireballs and knock other workers off their spots. You also have spells that you can cast to like move other workers or close off rooms or do all sorts of different things. It's a game that when we first started into, we were a little bit overwhelmed, but by the end of the first play, we were already talking about the next times we played it and what our strategies were going to be and how we were going to do it. It is a pretty deep game, but a really interesting one and a really nice mashup of classic Euro game design with some nice Ameritrash theming and some of the variable powers and different things that are usually present in Ameritrash games. So it's interesting to see those meld, and it was really good. It was really, really good. So it's only $50 right now if you go on Kickstarter. I highly recommend you pick it up. All right, that's our news for the week. I'm going to remind you to check out the Let's Play video. We've got new bits coming out every Tuesday. Hopefully this week we will get out our top games we played at Board Game Geek Con, and so you can see that. The question for the week. Tox from Crits Happen, who's a reviewer who you should definitely check out. He's awesome. He's out of Austin. We finally got to hang out with him at BGG Con. Super nice dude. Asks, meeples, cubes, or custom minis? I'm either a cubes or a custom minis guy, as much as I know a lot of board game people are gonna hate to hear me say I don't care much about meeples, but I don't. Euro games, I'm really into cubes. Agricola, I would much prefer using the colored cubes to like the little animal minis and stuff like that, even though I know people freak out about the animal minis. I don't know what it is about the cubes. I like stacking them. They're small, they're tactile in a way that I really like. And specifically in that game, it's nice to be able to stack cubes when you have a lot of animals in a pen. But yeah, so I like cubes for that. And then custom minis. If you've got cool custom minis, I'm not going to pretend like I'm above that. Yes, some games kind of rely too heavily on cool custom minis, and the game design isn't great, but man, when they all come together, it really adds to the flavor of the game. For example, a game like Mice and Mystics, those minis add so much to kind of the fun of that game for me, because it really helps you get immersed in that world. So yeah, I'm one or the other kind of. I really like really nice custom minis, and I really like cubes. Meeples are fine, but man. Anyways, so thanks for tuning in this week. I will see you next week. Got tons of content. Please subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you next week.